Now, broadcasting from deep within your stepmom's basement, it's the EP392 podcast.
So please excuse my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Mr. Bistro fraternity guy, you got my asshole bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to decide to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, we're so impressed. Lots of chips and a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch or punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. She's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. I just can't understand it. Conquer the mind by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. I don't wanna hear it. Read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guy's finished. Mr. Whitebeard, you're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. Screws in the blood, letting cry. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Comatose, I'll pack your bags. Bury you like castrated gag. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of you are assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Tom Bo's a nice guy. All of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. The public dominant. Put a body by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. I don't wanna hear it. Read into the lyrics. Don't let the fucking pill quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guy's finished first.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do this show live every Sunday for almost 10 years now, I guess. Hasn't been live every Sunday for almost 10 years. Anyway, it's a twitch.tv/EchoPlex Media, a simulcasting to other locations, but if you're watching there, you're going to be pretty lonely. You can support this project at patreon.com/EchoPlex or go to eplex.store. Either place you can get a membership and you get, I don't know, some stuff. I'd prefer if you get the membership at eplex.store, but if you're already a Patreon user and you don't want to sign up for something else, that is fine with me. Other ways to support the project can be found on our website. I'm producer Dave, and this is what the people want.
I don't hate the cops. And there's a person inside when the truncheon stops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Oh, when the raiders come, who will protect the shops? Don't hate the cops. They're a sensitive bunch if you don't stop throwing your rocks. Snap crackle pop is the sound of a taser. Your buddy drops. Donate the cops. Donate the cops. Donate the cops. Donate the cops. Thank your local police, 'cause they don't do nothing wrong. Thank your local police. Got rid of the corruption and the racism is gone. They've been keeping the peace, keeping homeless folks out of the parks and malls. Got a cure for your social disease. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. 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 Put your hands above your head and show you're not afraid. I'm the fairest judge that your skin color's gonna get. And if you die before the sun comes up, the paperwork will take forever. Well, it might have worked out a little bit better if you didn't hate the cops. 'Cause they don't do nothing wrong. Donate the cops. You can't blame them for just doing their job. Donate the cops. Well, you gotta wonder, how much would it cost for you to be shot at and stabbed at by maniacs and drunks? Donate the cops. 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 Donate the cops.
All right, everybody. The story that everybody was talking about this week is this one, so we're just going to get right to it. It's the kid behind the person giving a speech at the U.S. House of Representatives. Very good clip.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to address the terrible precedent set in our country 4 days ago. Using the justice system to engage in a politically driven prosecution and now conviction of a major political party nominee running for president, especially on the charges brought against Donald Trump, should gravely concern every member of this body as well as every American across our country, whether they be Republican or Democrat, for Donald Trump or against him. Regardless of one's opinion of the current Republican nominee, we'd be well served to remember the long and cherished tradition we have in this country of settling our political differences at the ballot box. For nearly 2.5 centuries,
that kid is great. I don't give a fuck what this guy's saying.
Properly resisted the temptation to oppose their political rivals through the weaponization of our justice system. Equal justice for all. And an overall trust in our justice system is fundamental to who we are as Americans. And those who would destroy that hard-earned trust just to score cheap political points should be held accountable.
So, obviously, I mean, what this guy's saying is stupid, right? Because they're like, oh, we want the rule of law, but they only want that when they win. But I mean, that clip was about the kid, right? That clip wasn't really about that. That clip was about the kid. That kid was awesome. I hear from chat that that kid's parents maybe aren't great, but whatever. That kid's going places, if you ask me. Up next, I don't know if people know this. Anthony Fauci had a meeting with the House of Representatives this week, and Marjorie the Gathering talked to him and had some dumb shit to say, as she usually does. Here's I have 3 clips of that. Well, here's the first one.
Especially when the NIH and these government agencies, most powerful agencies in our country, are recommending medical suggestions and advice. And
recommending medical suggestions and advice. All right.
guidelines like 6 feet distancing and masking of children. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor. You're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. No, I don't need your answer. I want to talk about...
Wait, what? His mic is muted? What the fuck? His mic is muted. What the fuck is this? What? I didn't know his mic was muted.
Objection. Objection.
I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time, Mr. Raskin.
Gentlelady will suspend.
Mr. Chairman,
Point of order.
Just in terms of the rules of decorum, are we allowed to deny that a doctor is a doctor just because we don't want him to be a doctor?
Yes, because in my time, that man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked, and he belongs in prison.
Will suspend. The gentlelady should recognize the doctor as a doctor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is this what we have become?
He's like, is my mic on? What the fuck's going on? Like, I think his mic is off.
Is this what we have devolved into? No decorum.
You know what? We can do that hearing about the poor men that were injected with syphilis, because I support you in that. That's horrific.
Wait, what?
And this government that does things like that to Americans doesn't have decorum to the American people.
Mr. Chairman.
That happened a long time ago. What the fuck? The Tuskegee experiments?
Please.
The gentleman is out of order.
Decorum.
Oh, God. I can't. I fucking dude. Like, I think was his mic off because you couldn't hear him at all. I think he was trying to like respond, and I don't know. Was his mic? Did she have the power to turn off his mic? I'm not sure. Like, what was going on there? Because I mean, even if she was talking over him, you'd be able to hear him a little bit. I think his mic was off. Here's another one. This one's quick. It's just 16 seconds.
You know that what this committee should be doing? We should be recommending you to be prosecuted. We should be writing a criminal referral because you should be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. You belong in prison, Dr. Fauci.
Mr. Chairman,
What a fucking shit show. Oh, there's more because of course she's gonna keep now she's gonna talk about it's interesting that she's a dog lover. I wonder anybody heard any good stories about any dogs?
But this, as director of the NIH, you did sign off on these so-called scientific experiments. And as a dog lover, I want to tell you this is disgusting and evil, what you signed off on, and these experiments that happened to beagles paid for by the American taxpayer. And I want you to know Americans don't pay their taxes for animals to be tortured like this. So the type of science that you are representing, Mr. Fauci, is abhorrent, and it needs to stop. Mr. Fauci, you also represent the type of science where you confess that you made up the COVID rules, including
I didn't hear what you
6
said.
feet social distancing.
It's the fucking Daily Fail. Like, this is amazing.
Masking of children.
Aren't you supposed to be asking this? Isn't this like a witness that you're supposed to be questioning?
Never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You made
I
it
didn't
up
say
as you went.
I made it up.
So are you saying this is fake news, Mr. Fauci?
I didn't say I made anything up.
What did you say?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
But this is science.
What does dogs have to do with anything that we're talking about today?
These are scientific experiments. This is what you signed off on.
Oh, what a goddamn shit show. Up next, we got more of this. Here's Representative Debbie Lesko. I don't know who that is. But she's a Republican from Arizona. And this is, she's got some things that she would like to ask, as they were calling him, Mr. Fauci.
3 days later, on February 4th, 2020, 4 participants on the conference call authored a paper, Proximal Origin, which was sent to you for editing. Proximal origin pushed the natural origin theory. On April 16, 2020, the NIH director, Dr. Collins, emailed you expressing dismay that the Nature Medicine article, which was based on proximal origin, didn't suppress the lab leak theory and asked you for more public pressure to suppress the lab leak theory. The very next day, in response to Dr. Collins' request to suppress the lab leak theory, you cited the Nature Medicine article, which discounted the lab leak theory from the White House podium. My question to you, sir, did you cite this article at the White House because the NIH director asked you to suppress the lab leak theory?
I did not do that in response to anybody's suggestion to suppress anything. It was in response to a question that someone asked at the podium. And I did not edit any paper as shown in my official testimony. So you said about 4 or 5 things, Congressman, that were just not true.
Well, we have emails to prove it.
Well, you don't.
Thank you. And
I kind of like him. Kind of feisty.
I now recognize Mr. Mfume from Maryland for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And by the way, no, we don't have it. So I get tired of hearing we've got it, and then when we ask for it, it's not there. We do not have it, Dr. Fauci, and for everyone watching this. That's just incorrect.
Oh, these people are fucking out of their minds. I don't know what they're like. This is just grandstanding, though. They're not gonna like accomplish anything here. Up next here is, and I'm gonna probably butcher this name. It's Nicole Maliotakis versus Dr. Fauci, and I have 2 clips here of that.
CIA that they should really not be talking about a lab leak.
Thank you.
That's the conspiracy.
Appreciate that. Dr. Fauci, how much have you earned from royalties from pharmaceutical companies since the pandemic began in 2021?
0.
It says NIH scientists made $710 million in royalties from drug makers. You're saying that you did not receive any of the $710 million.
On COVID, I received, I think, $122 for a monoclonal antibody that I made 27 years ago.
Okay, so just in general, though, how much have you received, not related to COVID, just in general, how much have you received in royalties between 2021 and 2023?
I think none.
Okay, so somebody received the $710 million.
Somebody did, but not me.
You didn't receive any royalties. Okay.
I see no royalties associated with COVID. I mentioned.
I said.
No, I want.
I just said.
I'm on the record, and I want to make sure that this is clear. That I've developed a monoclonal antibody about 25 years ago that's used as a diagnostic that has nothing to do with COVID, and I receive an average of about $120 a year from that patent.
Okay, but the bottom line here is that scientists at NIH did receive $710 million in royalties, and I guess my question is, don't you think that if these experiments are made using American tax dollars, that any of those royalties, this nearly billions of dollars, should be going back to the American taxpayer, not in the pockets of the scientists? Do you believe that's a law that we should consider changing?
If you want to change the patent laws and the Bayh-Dole Act, then go ahead. That's not for me to say.
I'm asking your opinion. Okay. Well, anyway, moving on, I just want to say that, we know billions of dollars have been funding these animal experiments, both here.
It's like, I don't know, you can change patent laws if you want. You're the fucking Congress. That dude is sharp as a fucking whip if he's 83 years old. My God, I would have guessed like maybe late 60s, and I'd have thought I was like overestimating his age. Holy shit, man. Here's more from Nicole Maliotakis, dealing with or I guess with Fauci trying to deal with her. So the thing, by the way, that she held up with that number, that was like money that went to the NIH, right? That it wasn't like they were like, oh, here, we got this big check here, everybody have some. It went into the budget of the NIH. Like it didn't just like, they weren't just like, here's your cut. Anyway, here's more of her talking to him.
Past, you have said, quote, it is a distortion of reality, unquote. You've said, quote, I've heard these conspiracy theories, and like all conspiracy theories, they're just conspiracy theories. That's what you told the American people. And so would you like to clarify what science were you following then versus now?
No, I've also been very, very clear and said multiple times that I don't think the concept of there being a lab leak is inherently a conspiracy theory. What is conspiracy is the kind of distortions of that particular subject, like it was a lab leak and I was parachuted into the CIA like Jason Bourne and told the CIA that they should really not be talking about a lab leak.
Thank you.
That's the conspiracy.
Appreciate that. Dr. Fauci, how much have you earned from royalties from pharmaceutical companies since the pandemic began in 2021?
Zero.
That's some of the same clip, just a few seconds of the same clip. Yeah, this guy's financially pretty well off, but like he doesn't have an extremely high net worth. He's like financially well off as you would be from being a professional person with his a job history. He's not wealthy. And up next, here's Jamie Raskin talking to Dr. Fauci. This is probably going to be less crazy. It was a live show. Everybody here. Oh, here it goes.
Have you spent your whole life trying to determine the causes of infectious diseases and then to stop them to protect the American people?
Yes, I have.
Well, Dr. Fauci, I want to join my colleague from Florida in apologizing to you that some of our colleagues in the United States House of Representatives seem to want to drag your name through the mud. They're treating you, Dr. Fauci, like a convicted felon. Actually, you probably wish they were treating you like a convicted felon. They treat convicted felons with love and admiration. Some of them blindly worship convicted felons.
I mean, that's not the gotcha this guy thinks it is, right? He thinks he's slick. He thinks he's getting a jab at people, but they don't care. They don't care. Up next, we got Comer, James Comer, I believe is his name. He's on Newsmax talking about this this hearing that we just watched a little bit of. He's not, I guess, probably not too happy with the outcome of the hearing because all indications are that Anthony Fauci handled himself pretty well.
I think the American people saw the slick talker who fooled America, who's probably done more harm to public education, he did more harm to our national debt and to our economy than any single human being in my lifetime. Hopefully, we can take his words today and continue to try to gather evidence and take steps to try to hold him in criminal wrongdoing, because I believe that the majority of Americans realize that Dr. Fauci made costly mistakes. He's lied about him and he's tried to cover it up.
Yeah, he's a criminal in my estimation. You've got...
Oh, well, you don't get to decide who's a criminal. They're not going to make a criminal referral to the Department of Justice here because it would be dumb. Well, maybe they will. I don't know. I mean, people do dumb things, I suppose, all the time. We're going to move on now. We're going to move on to the Trump. The people still mad about the criminal trial of one Mr. Donald Trump. We're going to move on to that segment because we can't, I guess, not talk about that this week. We got it's time to declare a mistrial, I guess.
Let me ask you, Mike Huckabee, what about Judge Mershon telling both the prosecution and Todd Blanche, the president's attorney, about the New York case, that they became aware of this Facebook page post? My cousin's a juror. Trump is getting convicted. Thank you, folks, for all your hard work. Let's assume, Governor, that's true. In any court of law, that has to be cause for a mistrial. Thoughts?
Well, you don't know that. We don't know if this person's cousin. We don't know if they're in contact with their cousin. We don't know anything about it. They're just like, well, let's make up a story about this.
Absolutely has to be. I mean, this whole case stunk as bad as you thought it could. Now it smells like a 3-week garbage strike in August in New York City on the streets.
All right, Lisa, let me get your reaction to that as well. I mean, wow, if that's not cause for a mistrial, I don't know what is.
So I'm hearing from chat that the person who made that post is on the record as being like, it's false and I'm a shit poster, which it's probably about. That sounds about right. There are a lot of shit posters out there, and that is a funny shit post, because I bet if that person like had a lot of maybe people who like the former president following them or whatever, that would have really pissed off a lot of those people. So these things also, like, we could find out if it's true, but that would be interesting if maybe Fox could do some kind of journalism around that. like some kind of digging, as if they were doing reporting to find out if this is true. I bet we could find out. I mean, if the person hadn't come out and said that they were a shit poster, I bet we could have figured it out in a day or two. And we don't have any money. So up next, I guess it's time to have an independent, impartial officer of the court do an investigation of the trial that just happened because I guess so.
Miranda, I got to get to you, but I got to get to the issue of what this letter is saying. Greg Jarrett, your legal analysis here. Is this now, I would assume, a motion for mistrial?
Greg Jarrett, a lawyer?
Going out and being written as we speak.
Oh, absolutely. If it is true, and that's a big if, but if it is true.
You'd swear that an organization with the fucking resources of Fox News could go about the business of determining if it was true before they start talking about it on air like this.
It is grounds to vacate the conviction and order a new trial. I think, what this judge needs to do is appoint an independent, impartial officer of the court to conduct an investigation.
No, they don't need to do all that. They just need to be like, is there reason to believe that this person was telling the truth? The answer is no. Okay, well, then we're going to ignore it.
That may include subpoenaing Facebook to identify who this person is who posted it, because the message indicates that a juror spoke with a relative about the case. Now, jurors are admonished at the outset of the trial. You're not allowed to talk to your wife, your spouse, anybody about this case. That taints the impartiality of the juror, an outside influence potentially. And not only that, it also suggests that perhaps before deliberations even began, the jurors had already decided to convict. That's another ground.
Well, before deliberation begins, a lot of times, every individual juror has seen the trial of facts and has an opinion. Sometimes other jurors are able to ask questions and sway those opinions, but not very often. I think by the time the jury goes in to deliberate, most of the people already know if they're going to vote to convict or acquit.
For misconduct. Impartiality is the centerpiece of our constitutional right for a fair trial, which is why jurors are told you can't talk to anybody about it, don't watch the media, don't engage in social media. But this message suggests that this is egregious juror misconduct. It's up to the judge to get to the bottom of it. And as I said, if there's merit to it, the case gets tossed, a new trial is ordered.
I guarantee you, regular people on the internet got to the bottom of that shit as soon as it was being talked. Within 10 minutes, regular people on the internet just figured out that it was bullshit. Up next, we got Fox Business. They're already upset about an appeal that hasn't even happened or started yet. We got 2 videos from Fox Business here talking about the problems, I guess, with an appeal that hasn't even begun to happen.
Of the 21, all but one was appointed by a Democratic New York governor. And a review of federal and state campaign records show at least 14 of the 21 justices gave campaign contributions to Democratic politicians, Democratic committees, or clubhouses in the past before they were appointed to the court, but even while they were serving as judges in lower courts. The newest judge appointed here is Justice Marcia Michael. She was appointed 8 months ago by Governor Kathy Hochul. In 2014, Justice Michael ran for a New York State Assembly.
Oh, great. Now they're starting a harassment campaign against Marcia Michael for no fucking reason.
Bronx in the Democratic primary. She was endorsed in that race by then New York City public advocate Letitia James, who went on, of course, to become the New York State Attorney General who prosecuted Trump in the real estate fraud trial last year. Here you see Judge.
They were colleagues. These people, they were judges, working in the same, they were colleagues.
Michael and James at the time.
They're colleagues.
On the campaign stump, but Judge Michael lost that race. 2 months ago, it was Judge Michael who ruled against Trump when his lawyers tried to stop Judge Juan Merchan's trial from starting just days before opening statements. Another justice here, Ellen Gessmer, gave thousands of dollars of campaign contributions to Democrats before she took the bench. Federal Election Commission records, so she gave $2,000 to Senator Chuck Schumer's campaign in 1998.
Almost fucking, what is that? 26 years ago, she gave $2,000 to a presidential campaign. All right.
And to Hillary Clinton's 2000 New York Senate race, $1,725. She gave $250 to Howard Dean's presidential campaign in 2003.
Look at that picture of Hillary they chose.
$1,700 to Democratic campaign committees.
This is all a long time ago. I bet at some point during that person's career, right, they're like, I'm kind of starting to rise up in the in the system here. Maybe it's not such a great idea for me to be donating to political campaigns anymore. And then they stopped, because that's probably what you do, is you rise up through the ranks as a judge. You're like, well, now I'm like a little bit higher up in the food chain. It would look real bad if I was donating to campaigns, so I can't really do that anymore. That's probably what we saw, what was happening there. Up next, here's more from Fox. This is from Fox News, not from Fox Business. They're already mad about the appeal. And there isn't even an appeal yet, I don't think. I don't think the paperwork has been processed or whatever.
He's vowing to appeal his New York felony conviction, but will have to face an appellate court comprised of almost entirely Democratic appointees. Eric Shawn is live outside the state's appeals court in New York City with this update. Hi, Eric.
Good morning, Dana.
Oh, this guy's like pretty good, actually. This guy's like the least bonkers person at Fox.
President Trump's appeal will be heard in the courthouse behind me. This is the New York State Appellate Court, First Division. But you know, before the justices took the bench here, many of them happen to have given campaign contributions to Democratic candidates. And one of the justices donated to Hillary Clinton. There are 21 justices on this appellate court, and all of them but one was appointed by a Democratic New York governor. Federal and state campaign records show at least 14 of the 21 justices gave campaign contributions to Democrats in the past. And in some cases, even when they were serving as a judge.
Oh, they really hate her for some reason.
The newest appellate court judge here is Justice Marcia Michael. Justice Michael was appointed 8 months ago by Governor Kathy Hochul. In 2014, Justice Michael ran for a New York State Assembly seat. And
what do you want to bet she's the only black lady on the appellate court? What do you want to bet?
Primary in the Bronx. She was endorsed by then New York City public advocate Letitia James, who of course went on to become the state's attorney general, who prosecuted Trump in his real estate trial last year. Here you see James and the judge on the campaign stump in 2014.
Oh, they're both judges.
Judge Michael lost that election. And 2 months ago, it was Judge Michael who ruled against Trump.
Oh, no, one of them is a DA or
Judge
Attorney General. My
trial from starting just days before opening statements.
Wait, this is the same script as the other clip.
Gave thousands of dollars in campaign contributions to Democrats before
over 20 years ago.
She took the bench. Federal Election Commission records show that the justice gave $2,000 to Senator Chuck Schumer's campaign in 1998, $1,725 to Hillary Clinton's 2000 New York Senate race, $250 to Howard Dean's
she must not have really liked Howard Dean
presidential campaign in 2003, and $1,700 to Democratic campaign committees. Last year.
So I think what's going on here, first of all, like it should come as no surprise that these two women that they keep showing photographed together know each other. They're clearly they work in the same field. They appear to be like even kind of close, like maybe they appear to be the same age, and maybe as like black ladies working in this, they have they have some stories to share with each other and some camaraderie. But like also like it's just colleagues. Like I said before, you will be photographed with your colleagues. I don't know what else to say here. Did you know that the jury, nobody on the jury, it was Trump's jury, did you know they didn't smile? None of them were smiling. Now, mind you, had they been smiling the whole time, it'd have been like, oh, they were smirking at me. But now the problem is that they weren't smiling, I think.
He said, there's no way. You heard me say long before the verdict that Mother Teresa couldn't get a fair trial here. I said that. And no, you couldn't. I never saw a glimmer of a smile from the jury. No, this was a venue that was very unfair. It's a tiny fraction of the people are Republicans, and it's very unfair. And then we had a judge who was very unfair. We asked for...
And they weren't smiling. That's the thing. It didn't matter what the jury did, right? If they ended up convicting him, everything they did would have been wrong or bad or unfair or biased against him or whatever. It's just like the way it would have been. I found this and I thought this next one was pretty funny. This would be great. I believe this is Greg Kelly. He's trying to wrap up an interview with Trump here, and Trump just keeps fucking talking. It's so funny. Like I love it when this happens to fucking ghouls, as they get somebody on and interview them, and they're like, you got to move on, they got to go to commercial or whatever, and their interview subject just keeps fucking talking.
$100 million.
It's wild.
With nothing.
Mr. President.
And he's the one that's the fraud, because he said a house that's worth $1 billion or more is worth $18 million. Everybody's trying to figure it out. You know, you buy a piece of land.
He's like, Mr. President, you can tell he was trying to end the interview. You just kind of tell by the tone, right? It's like, oh, Mr. President, he was going to be like, thank you for joining me and whatever. And you just can't do it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like on Friday night, I interviewed somebody who has a history, who's known for just blabbering on, and I was able to end the interview. I was like, "Oh, thanks for joining me. We're coming up on an hour here. I like to keep my interviews under an hour. You tell people where to find you." And the dude, just because he was fucking nice guy, kookaburds a little bit, but a nice guy, he and respected me and my time, was just like, "Oh, here's where you can find me." It was fantastic. But that's not what happens when you interview the former president, let me tell you. Up next, we got Dr. Phil asking the former president the tough questions. We decided not to run this Dr. Phil interview in its entirety on any of our shows because nobody wants to watch Dr. Phil talk to Donald Trump.
I know you got a thick skin. You're not one of those people that's afflicted with the need to be loved by strangers. I get that.
I think that's true.
My question is not how do you do it. My question is why do you do it? Why do you? Let's face it. I mean, you're a billion.
Does Trump have a room in his fucking house that he's trying to make look like the Oval Office, or like it would be part of the White House?
You got a great family. You're a very dedicated father. People may not see this in you a lot because you keep that kind of private. But my question.
Wait, he keeps that. His family is out on Front Street.
To you is why do you subject yourself to this?
Wait. He just suggested that that he just keeps his family private. His family is like. Every one of the people in his fucking family is like always on TV, except for like Ivanka, Jared, and Tiffany, and Barron, probably not old enough yet. But Eric and his wife, I forget his wife's name, and Don Jr. and I forget his wife's name too. She's crazy. They're always on TV. What is he talking about? He made his family a huge part of his campaign, and they're a huge part of his like public persona. I think this is that was all that. I mean, it's Dr. Phil, obviously, right? So, but that was just such obvious bullshit. Dr. Phil, yet another horror that Oprah has unleashed on the world. Up next, I guess, we got two clips of the former president. He was on Fox and Friends Weekend, and here's him talking about his faith. I think, sort of.
What's your relationship with God like, and how do you pray? That's Sharon from Alabama.
Okay, so I think it's good. I do very well with the evangelicals. I
think it's good. I do very. This guy doesn't pray. This guy prays as much as I do.
The evangelicals, and I have more people saying they pray for me. I can't even believe it, and they are so. Committed, and
he's like, I have people that do my praying for me. I don't even have to pray.
They're so believing. They say, "Sir, you're going to be okay. I pray for you every night." I mean, everybody, almost. I can't say everybody, but almost everybody that sees me, they say it. It's such a beautiful thing. You know what's a beautiful thing too? When you look at all of this bad stuff going on, they have nothing to look up to. They have no God. They have no anything. They kill people, they beat people, they push people into subways.
What?
There's just nothing there. Religion is such a great thing.
Goddamn atheists always pushing people in front of the subway.
You know, there's something to be good about. You want to be good. You want.
You need something to be good about. You want to be good. Don't be like those fucking atheists who are there, just out there fucking pushing people in front of the train. My fucking God, what the fuck, dude? What the shit is he talking about? I mean, I'm an atheist. I've never pushed anybody in front of a train. I'd probably fucking try to help somebody if it looked like somebody else was trying to push them in front of a train. Certainly wouldn't just stand there. Way up next, he's going to talk about declassifying some stuff, but there's maybe a little something that the government might have some information on that he does not have a whole lot of interest in declassifying. A friend of his, he shared a friendship with this man with many well-known people.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Oh.
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
You don't want to fuck up people's lives. There's a lot of false stuff in there. He's fucking talking about his friends and himself. He's like, well, not all of it, actually. There's parts about me in there, probably. Only parts about some friends of mine, maybe podcasts I've appeared on, influential phrenologists, etc. I don't know why they're letting Kellyanne Conway on TV again, but they are.
Repeat it because this is the new narrative by all the lemmings in the mainstream media this week. Trump wants revenge and vengeance. He's the one who's had that visited upon him. And if you need any evidence, look no further than how he just stood down in any kind of prosecution of Hillary Clinton and retribution after he beat her fairly and squarely and racked up 304 electoral votes in 2016. Many people said lock her up. I think now.
So the thing is, like the state of New York went after Donald Trump, not the president or not the president. The president is not even supposed to have anything to do with that. Also, real quick, if you're watching live, hit ! Enter in the chat. You can win a Rainbow Disco Goats mug. No cost to you. Ali Drew took care of all of it. Fantastic. People listening on the podcast, you obviously can't enter to win. So that's ! Enter in the chat to win. Oh, you don't, not just ! You have to exclamation point and the word enter. Anyway, I have to keep going on the podcast here. Thank you for that generous gift to the community, Ali Drew. Up next, we got Mike Huckabee. He thinks it should be illegal to put the former president in jail. Should that be the thing that the court decides to do?
And if they're foolish enough to push this and actually try to incarcerate the president, which I'm not sure, how do you do that when he's under Secret Service protection? Do they go with him? I think they would probably file some court motion and say, we cannot guarantee the ability to protect the former president, as we're required by law to do, if you put him in Rikers Island. And you're not going to do it. I mean, it would set up a pretty significant thing. In fact, if you look at the law about what the Secret Service obligations are, it would prohibit Judge Merchant, no matter how much he wants to put Donald Trump in incarceration.
No. I don't think that that's true. I'm not sure how that would work. I think the president might lose their Secret Service protection if they have to go to prison. I'm not sure, though. Up next, we got a giant flag time in New York City. Sort of. Working so well. It's like raining and shit. they can't keep it up off the ground because of the water.
Find the other corner and then bring it back.
Why would you do this on like a rainy day? Like the rain's going to make it heavy. You're not going to be able to get it like.
What party out?
Wait, why are they being arrested? Is that the flag code isn't an actual law? Why are they being arrested? Oh, is that the QAnon? I'm going to tell my kids that's Jamiroquai. Oh, I know who that lady is. This lady in the middle. She ran against AOC. What was her name? Does anybody remember this lady's name? She's the gal who ran against AOC for Congress in 2020. Forget her name though.
Let them go. Let them go. Isn't it travesty?
Yeah, it's Tina Forte.
They're gonna persecute every one of us. Trump.
Like that guy thinks he's the Q shaman. How cute.
It can happen to each and every one of us. And look. Guys, get out of the street.
That didn't go so well. You flag idiots. So we got a couple palate cleansers here. First up, I thought this is pretty funny. This is a New York City geography lesson. And, well, I'm glad somebody was able to give us a geography lesson.
I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again because I feel like you guys didn't hear me the first time. If I'm trying to meet up with you, do not tell me you are north, south, east, or west of something. Okay? Respectfully, I don't know what that is, and I'm tired of being ashamed that I have spent no time in a crow's nest of a pirate ship. I don't know how long you've been at sea, but I've been here in New York City. We use landmarks to find things. How close are you to Nordstrom? That's all I need to know. Do you see the man that sells taxidermied ferrets off the A train, or do you not see him? That informs me as to where you are standing. I don't know where northwest of the museum is. Are you trying to confuse me? Why would you say that? I was excited to see you. I said, hey girl, I'm almost there. Where you standing? You said, I'm north-south of the Nuts for Nuts truck. Why are you speaking in tongues? I think I just need space. Okay? Please stop doing that.
At first I thought, I was like, uh-oh, this lady doesn't know directions. And then halfway through it, I was like, oh, she's pretty funny, actually. She's pretty funny. Up next, we got another palate cleanser. This one's called Burb. And the Twitter website is doing as it usually does, taking a moment to get with the program here. Anybody listening on the podcast should understand this is a live show. Here we go. Just a burb. Check it out. There we go. Burbs dancing. We always need a palate cleanser. Thanks to Ali Drew for popping that palate cleanser up in the Discord. The Discord helps me a lot with this show. That's discord.me/echoplex if anybody would like to join. Here, unfortunately now we have another song, Not a Banger.
I'm not saying he's something divine. He gets in trouble bigly time after time. He's controversial, but one thing is true. Imperfect people, a perfect God can do. I'm standing with the chosen one.
Oh my God, this is Oh, this is terrible.
Somebody had to do it.
This great nation is under attack, and its real leader has arrows in his back. So many greet him with a Judas kiss, but God gave us a warrior for such
nice line.
time as this. I'm standing with the chosen one. Ain't no stopping what the Lord's begun. He's only human like you and me, just a chosen one, the chosen one. Brothers and sisters, lay down your stones. There's only one God and He's still on the throne. I'm standing with the chosen one. Ain't no stopping what the Lord's begun. He's only human like you and me, just a chosen one, the chosen one.
It just keeps going.
He stands for me, he stands for
It could end at any time.
he stands for freedom, he stands for truth. Trump is the chosen one.
That wasn't a joke. And like someone in chat said, that was not a joke. That was a banger, obviously. Like somebody in chat's like, what's the opposite of cat jam? So up next, this is from a local government meeting, and somebody's just going to ask what woke means.
Hi, I'm Alexa. Maybe you saw me outside or on Fox News, or maybe I teach your kid. My question is very simple. What does woke mean? Yes, I am the TikTok lady. Okay. What does woke mean?
Woke is rooted in Marxism, and what it means is that society is based in pitting people against one another, and basically giving somebody labels. So, as I'm sure you know what it means, that it comes from a Marxist root, and what it does is it tries to inspire a revolution, and by creating a problem and telling people that they're either the oppressor or the oppressed, they're
Let somebody else answer.
right for behaving or acting a certain way. So
I'd say a person is right or wrong for acting or behaving a certain way.
well, I mean, or for basically for just who they are, characteristics that are determined by their birth. And what it means at its root is it's being awakened by a critical consciousness. And so critical is the key word there. And critical basically gets, sorry that I'm trying to work this out in my mind, but it basically gets to the root of creating a divide between people.
Okay, so ultimately it's the division that is wokeness, applying labels that divide. I'm not quite clear on the connection of Marxism, but
I didn't use the term woke in my remarks. So,
well, you are here representing an organization that has it on your stickers, on your folders, and everybody is here representing the Parental Power Summit. And so that word is attached to everybody on this panel.
I'll refer you back to the previous conversation we had about coalitions. We have different views of key important questions. I don't think any of us use that term when we talk.
None of these people can answer. This is amazing.
That's fine. So
I'm talking about what's out there.
So I
No one's taking the mic. I'm surprised I read this one.
No, it's good. It's okay. No, that's okay. Everybody, at the end of the day, we are here. One second. We're here for love. Do you have another question? Well, I think.
She's smiling. She's living her best life. That was great. They couldn't answer. They're like, it's rooted in Marxism, and I don't know. It's a bad thing. Good job, lady. Good job. So we got the Oklahoma State School Superintendent Ryan Waters thinks your kids should be able to leave school to go to church, but only if he likes the church. This guy, we've been covering him for a while now. And Kikyo actually is the one who brought this guy to our attention initially, and I've been kind of keeping an eye on him here. This is great, though. Your kids should be able to go to church instead of school, but again, only if this motherfucker likes the church.
We just put in place a new bill, HB 1425. Here's what this bill does. It allows students during the day in high school to go to a church, receive religious or moral study, and get credit for it. We want to encourage our kids to freely express their religious beliefs, and so we're very excited about this piece of legislation. Well, we've now had the Satanists come in and say they're going to offer courses too and get credit for it. So I'm just going to clear this up. No, the Satanists are not coming into our schools. No, Satanism is not a religion. They will not be recognized by our State Department of Education. You are not a religion, Satanist. I know that you guys like lying, and that's a central part of your belief system there. But you will not be participating with our schools. You will not be allowed in our schools.
Oh, you were gonna have some legal trouble there, buddy. You're gonna have some real fucking legal trouble, because that fucking satanic temple, they stay winning when people try to fucking kick them out of places. They win every fucking time. Up next, we got Representative Elise Stefanik. She wants to sanction the International Criminal Court because of its recent ruling regarding Gaza.
Good morning. Last week's verdict in New York shows how corrupt, rigged, and un-American the weaponized justice system has become under Joe Biden and Democrats. The facts are clear. This was a zombie case illegally brought forward by a corrupt prosecutor doing Joe Biden's political bidding in a desperate attempt to save Joe Biden's failing and catastrophic campaign. The case hinged on the testimony of a convicted felon who was disbarred for lying and perjured himself to Congress. This sham trial was overseen by a corrupt and highly unethical judge who—
Wait, this isn't about the ICC. This is about the New York
who is
State.
a Biden donor and whose own family has directly profited from this case. This corrupt Democrat judge imposed a clearly unconstitutional gag order on President Trump and his team. The prosecution team that brought forward this case consisted of a Soros-funded far-left Democrat district attorney on a vendetta, Democrat political operatives, and Democrat donors. We must work and are committed to working around the clock to ensure President Trump is victorious this November to save America from Biden's failed far-left Democrat agenda and this illegal weaponization of the justice system against the American people. This week, on the floor, House Republicans will deliver for our veterans and continue our steadfast support for our most precious ally, Israel. At every opportunity, Joe Biden has turned his back on Israel, most recently refusing to sanction the International Criminal Court following
How do you do that?
Politically motivated targeting of—
Hold on, that's the International Criminal Court. It's supposed to be like an independent organization.
Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. The
His
ICC
Benjamin
must be
Netanyahu. Calling him Bibi is weird.
Immediately sanctioned. That is why today House Republicans will bring Chip Roy's bill, the Illegitimate Court Counteraction Act, to the House floor to ensure needed guardrails to protect Israel and all our allies from baseless, undemocratic attacks by the international bureaucrats of this illegitimate court. We will also bring up the Milcon VA appropriations bill to fully fund veterans programs and benefits and prohibit the Biden administration from funding woke priorities. I'm proud to announce that following many years of advocacy, this legislation will also secure Fort Drum in upstate New York in my district as the third missile defense site on the East Coast, ensuring our policy of peace through strength by bolstering our nation's defense.
She was all over the place. She didn't like any of these court verdicts. Someone in chat was saying that the U.S. isn't even a party to the International Criminal Court, and it is a body that like isn't beholden to the United States or supposedly beholden to any nation. Here's Marjorie the Gathering. She's on a Real America's Voice, and she's going to talk about what America's priorities should actually be right now. So that would be good.
We should be doing right now, today, we should be voting to impeach Joe Biden because of the invasion in the United States. Oh, but no, none of that is happening up here in Washington, D.C., because Republicans continually have their head up their ass and can't figure out how to actually use the power that the people gave us. This is a new time in America, and I am so fed up, Steve. I am so fed up. I am so sick of it because I know people at home are sick of it. People are sick and tired of a feckless, useless Republican Party that never does a damn thing to stop any of this. They just sit in the boat and row along with the Democrats and row.
They voted against a border bill that gave them almost everything that they wanted. They voted against it because they thought that it would make it harder for them to use the border as like a wedge issue during the 2020 election. Marge, you were one of those people that did that. I don't think the Democrats got one over on the Republicans, but there's some chance that they knew that it was going to get voted down, and then they agreed with everything so it would get voted down so they could use it. But that would be like what a useful political party would do, and the Democratic Party is pretty useless. So I don't think they did that. Up next, we got Lindsey Graham bucked a little bit. Here he is talking about the border issue that Republicans voted down.
And I regret that. So everybody who comes on this floor and says our border's broken, we should do something about it, you're absolutely right. And unfortunately, we didn't get there. President Trump opposed a Senate bill. We couldn't find a better way forward that would get 60 votes. I hate that, but now we have to deal with what's left for us to take care of in the world. So
See, he bucked a little bit. That's not like him. He's usually just whatever Trump wants, but he wanted that border bill pretty bad. Up next, we got Pennsylvania State Representative. This is in the Pennsylvania State House. Her name is Stephanie Borowitz, and she seems fucking lovely. She seems fantastic.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the maker of the bill stand for interrogation?
Gentlelady declines.
Declines. Okay, so I need one question answered. In the co-sponsor memo, it says menstruating people. So I'm just going to assume by the silence of the maker of the bill that they cannot define menstruating people. So I'm going to define it for you. All right? And we also don't have answered whether these products will be in men's restrooms, which is absurd and ridiculous.
Wait, why? Why? Wait, what? No. The why? The guy has to go to the bathroom, and a friend of his who's a woman doesn't have to go to the bathroom. She's like, grab a tampon while you're in there.
Bill refers to the number of students in restrooms, which it should be female students. Women menstruate. I can't believe I'm standing on the House floor of Pennsylvania and saying that. Men do not. We need that clarified because they are using menstruating.
This issue is a loser for them, though. I mean, maybe in her district it's fine, but broadly, this is a big loser for them. People don't like this shit mostly.
In the bill. These are basic scientific concepts. How have Democrats gone down this road? And Democrats call us extremists.
Gentlelady will suspend. Gentlelady is reminded, please do not impugn the members of this chamber, regardless of political affiliation. Gentlelady may proceed.
The second aspect of this bill is that it is just another step by the governor and Democrats to have government provide everything for you, which leads to communism. A government big enough to give you everything you want is a government big enough to take everything away. I'm asking my colleagues to vote against House Bill 851. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But that's not everything that they want. It's just tampons in bathrooms, I believe, at schools, universities. That's not everything that everyone wants. That's just something nice that they could do. I don't see what the problem is. Up next, we got stop politicizing my vote that I made as a politician, which is a great thing. I love it when people do this. They're like, don't politicize this. It's like, it's political.
So this vote, Right to Contraception Act, failed in the Senate today. It had to get 60 to get past the procedural hurdle. 39 nays. You were one of the nays.
Yes.
So for folks who, why vote nay, and explain how that's not a bad issue for Republicans.
Yeah, this is just a shame that the Democrats are willing to try to politicize whether or not women have access to contraceptions.
What the fuck? Why are you Well, it was a vote on the floor of the Senate. It's a political issue as soon as it gets brought up for a vote on the Senate floor. It's and you voted no. Now I think you're the one politicizing it, because if you were like, I don't really want to politicize this, I'm just going to vote yes so that things stay the same or whatever. Dumb fucks. These people are so stupid. Speaking of stupid, we got Jesse Waters, and apparently fathers are not responsible for raising their own daughters.
I just hate how the media talks about the Biden family the way they talk about the Trump family. They keep talking about the way that the father has love for Hunter and how it's this beautiful, special relationship.
Okay.
He's a crackhead. He pays for prostitutes. He squirrels out of alimony, squirrels out of child support. The guy is a wretched, wretched human being. And the Trump kids don't do drugs. They don't even smoke cigarettes.
Okay, get the fuck out of here. Has this guy seen any of Don Jr.'s broadcasts?
They're a part of the family company. They have beautiful families. And they talk about Eric and Don like they're scoundrels.
They are. They fucking stole hell of money from a veterans charity, dude. They're fucking garbage.
Sons. It's ridiculous. When you raise a son, you are responsible for that son. It's not like raising a daughter. It's different. You have.
Wait, what?
Oh, come on, Jesse.
Every father of a son knows what I'm talking about. You have to mold this child into a man, and that comes with responsibility, discipline, morality, and you have responsibility to send this son into the world as a responsible civilian. Joe Biden didn't do that.
How about the girls? How do you raise your daughter?
I give them everything they want.
There you go.
That was dumb. I think he was vamping, though. I don't think he knew what he was going to say. He's like, oh, it's not like raising a daughter. I don't have kids or whatever, but I would think that it's your responsibility to raise both of your kids and turn them into like responsible people who treat others well or whatever. Not just your son. Up next, we got Gutfeld. Gutfeld got to make everything about trans people. So here's Gutfeld making two things that aren't about trans people, Here, one of them is that kid we saw at the very beginning of the show. Apparently this is, anyway, whatever.
A ham.
Apparently you guys never heard of SVD, silly face syndrome.
It would be silly face disorder if it was SVD.
Silly face disorder. There's no known cure, and it affects young boys ages 4 to 12. Parents often worry if they keep doing it that way, it could stay that way.
Yeah,
and a lot of these kids say their faces don't feel right in their head. It's a kind of a facial dysmorphia disorder.
Yeah.
Oh, get the
you
fuck
might
out
need
of here.
surgery.
glad
So
you took it.
you guys have a great time.
I'm going to apologize right now.
I think you should apologize.
We apologize, kid.
Yes. You know, California is great if you live in luxury and you aren't beholden to the luxury beliefs that you put on other people. If you look at the sanctuary city laws and the new sanctuary city laws for trans mutilated kids,
What the fuck?
arresting over
Yeah, everything's about fucking trans people for these people. This is like not going to win for them. This is not a winning issue. Like moderates like don't like this issue. Moderates are not going to vote for them. Up next, we got a former attorney for Donald Trump suggesting that maybe Congress should act with regards to Clarence Thomas because he's taken over $2 million in gifts, and it sort of makes it look like maybe he's not so impartial after all.
The Supremes famously sang, "Love don't come easy. It's just a game of give and take." And that is now the question that is facing Supreme Court justices. Just how much can they take before it starts influencing what they're giving? Tonight, the financial disclosure forms that are just out from the justices reveal a trove of luxury gifts and six-figure book deal payments and a Beyonce ticket or two. But really, all eyes are on Justice Clarence Thomas. He amended his disclosure form from 2019 with two new additions that he says were, quote, inadvertently admitted at the time of the filing. Now, we should note, they were only brought to light publicly because of a ProPublica investigation. The first was a trip to Bali that was paid for by a GOP mega donor, Harlan Crow, and his wife. Thomas also then disclosed a trip paid for by the Crows to a private club in Monterey, California. That same month, he did not place a value on either trip in the disclosure form because it's not required, but the watchdog group Fix the Court said that over the last 20 years, when it comes to both the disclosed and undisclosed gifts, Clarence Thomas is really in a league of his own. Thomas has reportedly received 103 gifts amounting to $2.4 million in value. And it's not even close. Next in line is Justice Antonin Scalia, and he still accepted $2.2 million fewer than Thomas. Joining me now is Justice Correspondent for The Nation and host of their new podcast, Contempt of Court, Elie Mystal, and also with us, the former Trump attorney, Tim Parlatore. Elie, inadvertently omitted. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, so once again, we caught Clarence Thomas in a lie because when these allegations, when these gifts first came out, were first reported by ProPublica, Thomas said that he was not required to report them on his disclosure form. Now he's saying not reporting them was an inadvertent omission. Well, which one is it, Clarence? And frankly, it doesn't matter which one it is because there will be no punishment. And so while we can talk about all of these gifts, the $2.4 million, the money that he is raking in, the important thing to remember is that Congress refuses to do anything to stop these people. Congress will not pass ethics legislation. I do not know why Republicans in Congress oppose minimal basic ethics requirements for the Supreme Court. But they do, and so we don't have them, and so nothing, squadoosh, is the number that is going to happen in terms of consequences for Clarence Thomas's corruption and lies.
Members of Congress's staffers, Tim, are subject to more stringent ethical requirements, apparently, than the Supreme Court of the United States. How could that be? And to Ellie's point, I mean, is this not now crying out for Congress to act if they really care at all about preserving even just the appearance of impartiality of the court?
Oh, I agree with Elie completely on this. You know, this is something that, you know, congressional staffers you mentioned. If you look at the executive branch, I've represented several senior executive branch officials with investigations from the Office of Government Ethics. You know, military officers are only allowed to accept gifts up to $20. NYPD cops, they get written up if they take a free cup of coffee. You know, there are rules in place for federal judges that limit the gift that they can get at $50, but it specifically exempts the Supreme Court. In the states, you know, it can be even worse. I once had a state Supreme Court justice that I was in front of that during the case had a third party come to me and ask for a campaign contribution for that judge. Any type of, you know, thing where they're taking these large gifts, it's an appearance of impropriety. It's something that does, in my opinion, it degrades, you know, the image of impartiality. And I think that I agree with Elie. This is something that the Congress should act and try and put in some reasonable regulations on.
And no shit,
I'm just talking,
right? Like absolutely no shit. Like, but they can't, or they've decided that they can't. They specifically omitted it. Now it's like 20 years, $2.4 million. It's like a little over $100,000 a year in just like gifts. I don't know. I'd like $100,000 a year in gifts. How would you feel about that? That'd be great. It's not even so much that you could have to draw a line from the gift to any particular vote or on the court or whatever. It's just that it just looks bad, and like the guy was saying, it makes the impartiality idea look like a joke. So up next, we have one last clip that we're going to play before red light. A school superintendent was attacked during a Baraboo High School graduation. Apparently, he was attacked by someone who was a father of one of the people graduating who didn't want his daughter to shake the hand of a black dude. Here's the incident.
Oh, excuse me. Where's Brendan? Where's Brendan?
Get away from me, bro.
No. Hey, you need to get.
Look at her. She's so embarrassed. That's her dad, I think, that came up and pushed that guy off the stage. That's so embarrassing.
That way, Michael.
Fucking so. Come on, dude.
No.
Like, oh God.
Where's Brendan? Who's dad?
Yeah, his poor daughter. Like, you could tell she was like, you could tell like the look on her face. She was like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, poor girl. Poor gal. I mean, maybe a young woman at this point, right? Maybe she's 18. Poor young lady. She was like graduating high school and her dad fucking ruined it. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Fuck anybody who like does shit like that. Like, why? What's the reason to do something like that? I don't understand. There's no, you don't get anything from it. Like, you prevent your daughter from shaking the guy's hand. Okay. How does he know that his daughter hasn't already shook that guy's hand before? Like, what a fucking asshole. My God. Yeah, I hope somebody fucking found her and like tried to help her, because she was probably pretty distraught by that, as well she should be. It's distressing. It's distressing. And there it is, folks. This isn't like Down Ballot where we try to end on something fun. Usually the last story before red light is just as dumb as the shit in red light. So during the show, I was followed by Booter Beanault, thank you for following. Cody Culp cheered some bits, and Justin freaking rated the channel. Also, Allie Drew gave out an item during the show. I'll follow up with Cody to make sure that Cody redeems that item. Everybody watching live, stay put. We're going into red light. If you're listening to the podcast, please consider becoming a member. eplex.store or patreon.com/echoplex. If you join at the $5 level or higher, you get the entire audio and video capture of the podcast sent to your inbox. And Monday afternoon, generally. Monday afternoon, my time. This is Boomers by Periscope, and we'll be back with Red Light.